Although we may admire the iPad Pro, iPad Air and iPad mini, for most people, the entry-level tablet, just called Apple iPad, is more than enough. It is the most affordable iPad and offers solid value. It's currently in its 8th generation. So, the latest comments from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman are encouraging, and promise important changes, including an update to the current design. This is great news, especially since Apple does not always update the iPad on an annual basis, so since the last change was last fall, it could have been overlooked this time, but it seems the 9th generation iPad is almost upon us. The next iPad will retain the current Touch ID button on the front of the tablet, reports have suggested. But that doesn't mean it will look the same as now. Although he doesn't go into details, Gurman claims that the next iPad will come in a thinner case than the current one. The current model measures 9.8 by 6.8 by 0.29 inches, 250.6 by 174.1 by 7.5 millimeters. That's the same thickness as the first iPad Air, but in a case that's otherwise the size of the iPad Air 3rd generation. So, my guess is it will slim down to match the thickness of the 3rd generation iPad, that is, 0.24 inches or 6.1 millimeters, a difference you will notice in your hand. One other thing to note, though, is that the iPad Air 3rd generation had a 10.5-inch display, so it's not beyond the bounds of possibility that Apple will increase the size of the entry-level iPad display to 10.5 inches. My gut feeling is that won't happen as the current iPad Air has a 10.9-inch screen, and I think Apple may want to keep some greater difference between the models. The iPad display originally measured 9.7 inches for the first 10 years of its life, and grew to 10.2 inches in 2019, so my feeling is it may be a bit soon for another size increase. But, you never know. Gurman also says there's going to be an improved processor. You don't say? I can't remember a time when Apple released an iPad that had the same processor as the previous model. However, it's still an important factor as it means faster performance which, since it's expected the price will stay the same as the current model, is a useful bonus. It's Gurman's third comment that makes me feel that the price won't change because he says the iPad will be geared to students, a sector where value is especially important. Gurman isn't specific about when the iPad will appear, though I'd be surprised if it were included in the launch of the next iPhones. You can read when I think this will take place here. Instead, I think the iPad will be revealed alongside a heavily updated iPad mini in October.